Hey everyone! Welcome to Be the Change. My name is Lily Mott, and today I'm going to be talking about how change comes when you find what is important enough to you. My guest this week is Godwin Kevin, who is the founder of Inspire for Greatness, which is an organization that is empowering young people on the African continent. So far, Godwin's organization has worked with a couple thousand young people from countries all around Africa, and he hopes to expand the organization's scope to reach more people all around the world. I had a really interesting talk with Godwin about his organization and his advocacy, so without further ado, let's get started with this episode featuring Godwin Kevin.
I love what I do. But so I'm just gonna give you like my story, why I do what I do, why I started, and where I am currently, so you could have a background knowledge about me and my story. So my name is Godwin Kevin. I'm from Nigeria. I'm an 18-year-old anti-spanking activist. I'm a writer. I'm a 2021 global team leader, and I'm also the founder and executive director of Inspire for Greatness. So basically, what Inspire for Greatness does is identify, connect, and empower young Africans. Providing them with knowledge and skills necessary to scale up growth personally and professionally. In 2018, I started leading entrepreneurship seminars in my country or my city of Calabar, and I found out that not many young people were exposed to what entrepreneurship means, and they aren't really engaged in the society. So they just give them the traditional math, English, biology, government that they teach them in class, and they don't really know about how do I create change? What is my role here? Do I leave everything to the government? And what can I do to actually bring the change we want to see? And I saw this as a huge missed opportunity because I see lots of people, a lot of young people with this talent, but they come to me and like, oh, Godwin, I've seen the high rate of depression or suicide or bullying, and I want to stop it, but I do not know where to start from. I want to stop this. It has affected me personally, or I've been, let's say, I've been body shamed or this or that, and they have these ideas, but they don't know how to build on them and take that to the next level. And I'm like, and personally, growing up in the city Calabar, where it was pretty much there were lots of entrepreneurs, lots of young people doing amazing things. So I picked motivation from that, and I was like, what if you have more young people like this who are really passionate about bringing change in their communities? What if you have more young people like what if we have? I said this. What if we had more? What if you have like a Greta Thunberg in every country, like advocating for change in that manner, telling them that look, it is not okay to just hope. We need action. This United Nations Sustainable Development Goals is like this is a call to action. They didn't say call to hope. So we need people that act that are going to act. And I need that, and we need that to create the world we really want to see. So Inspire for Greatness is born, helping people do that, and it's been marvelous. The journey hasn't been really smooth, but I've been learning. I've dedicated myself to a life of learning. Started it off, and yeah, we're here today. How do we do this? How do we get young people to make impact and be the change you want to see? We carry out programs, seminars, conferences, really engaging these young minds and telling them, look, I'm here for you. You matter. I don't think they get told that most all the time here in Nigeria, but I'm here to tell them that because they matter and the ideas are valid, and that's what my organization does and does to them, and we want to see them grow. So whatever they want to do, whatever field they're interested in, we want to help them leverage that. We may not have $1 million to give you, but from our network and the knowledge we have, we could share that with you and pass it on to you, or connect you to somebody who can connect you to somebody. Then for you could land an opportunity or a scholarship or all of that. So yeah, and apart from the seminars and the workshops we do, we also have an epic mentorship program, which is on the way to becoming the best on the continent, Africa. Hopefully, maybe in the next few years, it will become the best because I'm really putting a lot of work into it, and I'm developing it and making sure it is like they get the best, because these young people, they come in and they tell us their stories. So I want to make sure they get the very best out of the program from about 20 countries on 4 continents, and it is open to young Africans from all the 54 countries on the African continent. So they pass through our selection process, and they get paired with a mentor for a couple of months or longer. And from there, they help them build on their ideas and scale up growth. And it's been amazing. It's been amazing just seeing what they've been able to do. Some of them, after the program, they've gone on to open their own organizations, like one of our mentees from our program started an organization in South Africa, trying to end, this depression and bullying and suicide. Some are starting off campaigns against gender violence and all of that. So it's really been excelling, and from there it's been wonderful. Connecting with these people. Even during COVID, we still made impact. We still did something. So you don't have any excuse. We want to be avenues for them to act. We want to be the bridge between talent and opportunities. That is what we need, and that is what we need to do as young people, and for us to see the change we really want to see. So yeah, that's it. That's it for what I do at Inspire for Greatness.
That was a really great introduction, and I would love to dive a little bit deeper into how Inspire for Greatness is actually run. Can you tell me some about what those seminars look like, and maybe what those mentor-mentee relationships look like? Tell me more about how the organization operates and how you're managing to work with all of these young people.
Yeah. So like I said, we're looking for ideas and people with talent, and people who are like, I have this idea in my head, but I don't know where to go to. Like we need those people. People who are inventing stuff, who are creating stuff, but they want to take that to the next level. So we have a formal application where we call for submissions of applications. Then we'll put that up. But then again, the mentors too are experienced professionals in their fields. From Forbes scholars to recipients of scholarships in universities in the United States and in Europe, to just amazing people who have done amazing things and are like, okay, I want to pass that knowledge down. I want to help these young people grow. So it's kind of a you learn, I learn relationship. You learn, I learn relationship. You could be from Thailand, or you could be from the United States, and your mentee is from Ghana, or your mentee is from South Africa. You learn different cultures, then helping the person to build on his ideas and take that idea, turn it into action, because that's what we need at the end of the day. Turn that into action to create the change we want to see. So yeah, that's the mentoring program is just like any other. It's online basically. You get connected to a mentor, carefully selected and to match your needs, tailored to your needs, and the person gets to mentor you for about for months. It varies by year. Some years we could be like 6 months, some years it could be like 3 months, but the relationship can go longer than that. We do not just want you to. We don't just make these programs for these people to just come in and just listen and go without acting on it. Like, we want them to act, and we encourage them to act on it. We give them assignments that encourages them to go out of their comfort zone and do things, and talk to people and engage. That is what we want. The seminars, on the other way, the seminars are organized in secondary schools, high schools in across Nigeria. We go to schools and try to talk to them on most basically entrepreneurship and how they could think and act with what they have, and learning skills, and just engaging this, encouraging this entrepreneurial mindset, trying to make them be doers, and people who actually go out there and do things, not just hearers but also doers of these things. Because like I said, at this point we don't need hope anymore. We need action. It is a call to action. So yeah, that's how they work.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for explaining that some more. I really appreciate that. So, I'd also love to know, as you start to look toward the future, what impact are you hoping to create through this organization? What do you see for the future of the organization, and really where are you hoping it goes from here?
Man, like there's a lot. There's a lot I look out for. There's a lot I'm planning towards. But then again, I I just want prosperity for the African continent. Like that is the North Star. Prosperity for the African continent by leveraging on its youth population. Now I don't look at the numbers. I look at this, even if it's this one person I've reached out to, and the person is doing something and the person is going somewhere, I'm okay with that. But if you're gonna put it down in numbers, by 2023 we plan to reach out to 5,000 young Africans all over the 54 countries on the African continent. That is the goal. Then not just reaching out and getting these numbers, but being sure that yes, this person has been touched, has been impacted, and is now an agent of change. Yeah. So like I said, I'm hoping to make the program one of the best. Like, if you come to Africa and you're like, okay, I'm looking for a program to help me build on my skills and my capabilities, Inspire for Greatness is the way to go. That is the goal at the end. And in the long run, I plan to work with the United Nations and also governments around Africa, the African countries, to help implement programs all aimed at youth development and engagement. Yeah, it is. We want youth minds to be in the right places. Like, I'm not saying like listening to this song or just doing this thing or doing this other task is not, oh, it's bad, but you could see the signs around. You could see the climate change. You could see this happening. This isn't how it is supposed to be, but it's changed. Things have been affected. So you need your mind to be in these places, because you ain't waiting for this person to do this, or you ain't waiting for this governor or this president to do this. And if you look at my country, there are over 200 million people in my country of Nigeria, and more than 60% of that number are young people. But the youth aren't, with this huge percentage, they aren't quite engaged. Like, some of them don't even care. Some of them don't even care. Some of them are like, I'll leave it to the government. Whatever they want to do, they want to do. Like, it is not affecting me, so I won't do anything. It hasn't affected my family member, my loved ones, so I'm not doing anything. Want to change that mindset. Like, you can't have that in 2021. Like, you can't have that in 20. Like, you can't have that in the 21st century. Like, you feel me? You can't have that. We need people who are like, I don't want this thing to be this way, and I'm not waiting on this person to do it. I'm gonna do it. I don't know if you look at the shirt I'm putting on now, it's take action. So yeah, I wear it. I remind myself about it. So yeah, definitely we want to unlock prosperity for the continent and build a generation of more engaged young people. Because when everybody's working and they roll up their sleeves and work, the growth, the change comes faster. So yeah, that is it for us.
I think that goal of trying to get people more engaged is so great, and it's definitely something I'm trying to do as well. So, thank you for talking about that. I want to switch gears a little bit now and ask you about your title as an anti spanking activist. I saw it in your Instagram bio, and I actually haven't seen that one before. So, I would love for you to explain your thoughts on that issue and explain what it means to be an anti spanking activist.
Yeah, you don't actually see that on many change makers bio, anti-spanking activists. It just it's actually quite unique. Yeah, you're just like, well, I do that basically. That is one thing that's also dear to me and dear to my heart. If you like this whole thing about spanking, now I feel like I'm giving you a history lesson. Now, this whole thing about spanking, there's a saying that you go out of the continent and like, oh, he spanked his kid. It's a black people thing. It's a black people thing, and they just do that to the kids. I'm like, no, and people do not really know the harms that come with spanking and hitting a kid. You may just see it as, oh, I'm trying to correct the child, or tough love, like they call it. It's tough love, but no, you're actually damaging. Like, they in the long run, they're gonna hate you and call you respect. You're gonna spank your kids and call it love. People get that confused. People get that. So I am trying to enlighten these people. Sometimes they tell me, "Oh, Godwin, you're not a parent, or all of you live in a continent where it is a culture now and it is common." But no, this thing was infused into, like, it is gone deep. It is going deep. Like, people see it as a normal thing. People you see kids get beaten up, some starved and all of that, and people just do that wholehearted and just quite inhumane. Like, if you're in Africa here, you see what's happening, you know how you need to act. And I get pissed because some people feel it's normal and it's okay to do that, because you want to prevent them from getting into crimes or not being arrested by the cops, or because your religion says you should spare the rod and spoil the child. I know I'm not gonna go in deep into that before like some religious people come on a podcast and be like, well, what does it say? This our belief and all of that. It's harmful. I do not want that. I've been a victim of it. I've been spanked, pushed, hit every with different weapon, different stuffs, and I see the damage. So I'm not talking just because I see something, I see it happen to somebody. I have experienced it before. It is not pretty. It's not good. We need to raise kids who feel confident in themselves and who aren't scared because, oh, my mama said I should do this, so I have to do it, or they can't think for themselves, or they have to do things in a way that the bigger person, the adults wants. Yeah, that isn't very healthy. You're just conforming to a certain just like what my organization is trying to change. People grow up in a society, grow up in a place where there are this set of rules and traditions, and they follow that. That doesn't give room for growth, and that doesn't make them think outside of the box and want to change that. It is not okay to hit somebody because you're bigger or because they're not doing what you want. Like, what are you teaching them? Like, I can't say this enough. We need to be enlightened. We need to stop that. There are other ways to discipline it. We need to bring up people who are, more empathetic and just feel for the other person. Feel for the other person. This isn't quite in the SDG goals, about anti-spanking and all of that, but it's one thing that people really look shy away from, and they're like, "Oh, it's not my kid, it's not my child. So whatever they want to do, no, that's a human being. They're full humans. They're supposed to be loved and cherished. And if they make a mistake, you correct them. It's human to do that. So you, as the bigger person, you're supposed to correct them and advise them and draw them closer to you, not to create this monster. And it creates this vicious cycle where, okay, they say, "Oh, my mom hit me. I turned out fine, so I'm going to hit my kids," and they keep doing that, and it goes on generations upon generations. It's such a toxic culture or tradition, and it's not supposed to. We do not want this to go on again. We do not want people to say it's a Black people thing. No, it was ingrained in them. If you look at African tradition from the very beginning, Black people don't hit their kids from the very beginning until one colonial master stepped on this land and they decided to treat people as slaves. So yeah, it is a very big issue. People don't really give it much attention, but I'm passionate about it and I'm talking about it. It isn't quite easy, but we're talking and we're advocating, kicking against hitting kids. They should be loved. They should be treated. They're full humans. They should be loved, cherished, and treated well.
Absolutely. I really admire that you're taking up that cause because you're right that it really isn't something that people talk about that often. So thank you for explaining all of that. I have one last question for you, and I'm really excited to get your take on it because I know you answered a similar question when you did your takeover for Fusecast on Instagram. Lots of young people, particularly college students, want to make a difference and they want to create change, but they may not know where or how to get started. So, do you have any advice for those people who may be listening?
I knew you were going to ask this question, and they asked it in the Fusecast. Someone asked this question too, like, "Oh, change making is daunting. How do I start? Where do you even start from?" And I'm like, "Is the issue important enough? Do you have a why? If you don't have a why, and if you're not passionate about this, or if you don't see this thing being worth it, don't do it. It's a full-time job. It's a full-time job, and it requires commitment, and you got to see more. Like listen to me. Like, I am happy and I find fulfillment from the smile I can put on someone's face or a child's face who looks up to me and tells me, "Godwin, because of you, my life is better." I know my why. I know why I'm doing this. I know what drives me. I know what motivates me. So start from where you are with what you have. Experiment, meet people, connect, send them DMs, send them emails. So you need that to know within yourself that this is what I want to do and I'm doing it. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, but I'm doing it in the long run. And I see what it's going to do for me and people in my society. So I'm going to do it even if it's hard.
I really enjoyed talking with Godwin because I think he is doing great work to empower others and he truly has committed himself to a life of service to others. I want to really emphasize the last piece of advice that Godwin shared because it really made me think. He said that you have to consider if what you're fighting for is important enough. The way I see it, if it's important enough, you'll be fueled to keep working and keep fighting for that issue. But if it isn't important enough, you might face burnout or feel unfulfilled in your work. I think that it's a great question to consider in all aspects of life, whether it's activism or advocacy, or even if it's in relationships, schoolwork, or maybe a new job. Pursue those things in life that excite, motivate, and inspire you, because change comes when you find what is important enough to you. Thank you so much for listening to this episode, and you can follow Godwin on Instagram at GodwinKevin_ to get connected with him, and you can also follow Inspire for Greatness at inspire.for.greatness. If you want to talk about anything I mentioned, please reach out to me by email at lily@bethechangepodcast.org or on Instagram at bethechangepodcast. Tune in for my next episode, but until then, be the change you wish to see in the world. Bye, guys.